Well, welcome everyone. I know it has been years since y'all have seen a Torn episode. This is Torn, but it's not Torn. I'm actually here to introduce something new, something that has transpired in 2024. It is called Reclaiming Our Time Productions. And before you on the screen, you see all the members currently of the production team, the startup team. So I am actually going to go around and have everyone introduce themselves and tell what they do within the organization. And then we're just going to have a brief discussion about why they are in existence and what their plans are for the future. I'm going to start with what I see on my screen. So the first person I see is Natasha Jackson. So introduce yourself and tell us what your role is.
Hello, I am Natasha A. Jackson, and I am the Executive Director of Reclaiming Our Time Productions.
Okay, thank you. The next person on my screen is Josh Henderson. I can't say Jay Maurice. Could you introduce yourself, please?
You literally just said it, but okay. Right. I am Jay Mardries Henderson, and I am the artistic director for Reclaiming Our Time Productions.
Okay, thank you, sir. The next person on our screen is Rochelle. I can't say Jay Rochelle. Could you introduce yourself and tell us what your position is?
You literally just said it. But hi, everyone. I'm Jay Rochelle Fowler. I am the marketing director for Reclaiming Our Time Productions.
Thank you. Next on my screen, and the person who has the pen on, which we probably all should have one on, but we're a little relaxed right now. And as theater people, which is also wonderful to have us as theater people, we're all actively working. So we're doing stuff. So that is the reason why, you know, you do see us right now without the pen. But this gentleman is wearing our pen. If you could introduce yourself, Mr. Stan Williams.
Good afternoon, evening. I am Stan Williams. I'm honored to serve as one of the advisors to Reclaiming Our Time Productions.
Thank you. Next on my screen is the incomparable Miss Sharitha Terry.
I am Sharitha Terry. I am the communications director for Reclaiming Our Time Productions.
All right. Next on our screen is a bald-headed person, which is three up here. It ain't you actually, Mark. It ain't you. I'm talking about myself. My name is Juan Isler, and I probably should have put the whole name up there, but nevertheless, and I am the technical director for Reclaiming Our Time Productions. Next on the screen is the wonderful lady Tina Morris Anderson.
Hi, I'm Tina Morris Anderson, and I serve as one of the advisors for Rectime.
Okay, thank you. And last but certainly not least, the other bald-headed person recently joined the club. No, Stan, this one ain't about you. Ooh, Josh, stop patting your hair, okay? That ain't even funny. Mark, go ahead and introduce yourself, please, sir.
Yes, thank you, sir. I am Mark Robinson, and I am the finance director for Reclaiming Our Time.
Okay. So now you guys have officially met the uh, inauguration crew. Doesn't mean that there won't be others in the future, but the inauguration crew. I am going to ask the executive producer, Natasha, why now? Why this organization and why now?
Um, Definitely, it's just needed. Just to go back a little bit, Josh and I have been, gosh, I don't know how many years we've been talking about different projects and things we wanted to do, things that we seen were missing. And over time, just being busy, we just didn't implement anything. And we kept talking about it and talking about it. And I think that the last thing that I said enough, I think that someone had put out that they were looking for actors to play slaves. It was like 2023. And at that point, I was like, Josh, we got to step up and do something, because there's so much more to us than playing these roles. There's so much more that we can do, and nobody is showing it. And so it was just like, we got to do it. And that's kind of where it started. And it was just like, we can't be in 2023, 2024, still looking for, people of color playing slaves, where we are so much more than that. Yes, it's a part of our history, but it's not all that it is to us. There's so much more. Josh, I don't know if you want to add anything to that, but.
Yeah, I definitely would piggyback off that. We definitely wanted to be a presence in this local theater scene that not just showcases Black trauma or people who look like us during certain parts of the year where it's convenient. We wanted to be able to be a constant presence, not just in the local theater scene, but also inside of the school systems, because representation definitely matters. And I look at this screen here and I see the different pigments and melanations that are all here that are being represented, because I think a lot of times people think that Black people, essentially, because most of us here do identify as Black, are a monolith, and that we all, experience life the same. There's a shared culture, of course, but I think we all go through life in different ways, and we don't always see that being presented or showcased. So I think that was really the foundation for the conversations Natasha and I were having. And then, of course, because we have experience in the theater, we knew people who were skilled and credible in this theater scene who we wanted to work with. And we knew that they had resumes and work ethic, which is not always the case. And I'm sure we'll probably get more into that, so I don't want to, jump ahead, but because I will if you let me keep talking. But yeah, that certainly is the foundation for this new project.
Okay, thank you. Jay Rochelle. I'm sorry, Rochelle, because I can't say Jay Rochelle. What? And I'm going to play the antagonist here, just putting it out there, so that we can answer some questions that people don't want to ask. What separates this organization from other predominantly Black organizations that have been in this area and are doing very little or now currently defunct?
Thank you, Juan. For me, it's the motivation and the intention behind what we're doing. Like, we recognize a gap in the theater community when it comes to BIPOC artists, and we're trying to fill the gap. And that extends beyond just what type of play that we choose. Like, we wanted to do professional development. Like, we're interested in elevating us as a community, and not just Black and brown artists, but marginalized folks as a whole, because it extends beyond just race and ethnicity. There are a lot of voices that are not being heard, a lot of marginalized voices that are not being heard, are not being seen. And representation, as Josh said, matters. Representation in the school system, representation on the stage, behind the stage. And we want to make sure that we elevating each other, we're empowering each other, and that our voices are being heard and being seen, and that we are being seen.
Okay, thank you. Stan, you mentioned that you are an advisor of this organization. I'm kind of putting you on the spot here. What is the advice that you would give young people who are looking to get into theater, young minorities that you think are looking to get into the theater, and how do you think this organization can really benefit them?
Thank you for that question, Juan. It's actually Very insightful. And so I really appreciate that. Part of the work, my personal work, that I don't talk about much, is very much involved around imagination, how we see things and how we perceive things, and what we believe about ourselves and others in the world around us. It's a big part of who I am. And so, what I would tell people looking to get into theater is to not limit yourself, especially to the stage. There's so much more to theater and to productions than being an actor on stage. One, you and I in the past have had discussions about how when we were growing up, people really only perceived success and entertainment coming by way of really being an athlete. And then you could be like a doctor or a lawyer, but that we were not really encouraged to go into the arts, especially theater. And when people think about theater, they only think about the work that goes on stage. But there's so much work that's going on behind stage, that goes on in those other rooms, on the production councils, that work, the work of the backstage crew that is so influential and impactful. And because we don't see it, we often don't imagine it or think that it's relevant when it's actually the lifeblood of what goes on. People don't understand that directors only direct you up to the opening of the show, but it's the stage manager that runs the show when the run is on. When you have those dates at the bottom of the program, this date to this date, it's the stage manager that calls all the shots, not the director. The director has come in and done their work, but people don't see that. They don't understand that. And so I imagine Torn as being a group of people that come in to clear up some of those misconceptions, and to give life and breathe into people that are interested in the arts an opportunity to imagine a world bigger than what they actually see.
Okay.
Hope that
So
answers your
that's
question.
yes. So you imagine that Rec Time is coming in to do something like that,
Oh, absolutely,
correct?
absolutely.
Okay.
Especially as Rochelle mentioned, it's part of the intentionality of Rec Time. It's to come in and and to do that work, because
Okay.
and I think that a lot of Rec Time's work is going to come in. A part of it will play into who Rec Time is not. In identifying who you are and understanding who you are, you also kind of state who you are not and what you're not about. And so I think that a lot of people are excited to hear not just who Rec Time is, but they're also interested in how, as you said, how they're different from those other groups that have come before, that are currently there, and those that are even now defunct.
Okay.
That's going to be the litmus test.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm trying to think who I want to go to next. I'm looking. Sharitha. You started laughing first, so I'll go to you first. Shouldn't have laughed. You are not a person that is normally on stage. Is that correct?
I am not.
Okay. What made you with that not being your chosen suit? What made you feel like this organization was something that you wanted to be a part of?
I will say, piggybacking on what our previous team has said, that representation matters. There are not a lot of stage managers that I have seen that look like me. When given the opportunity to come into theater, the theater that I happened to be working with was, I feel like, other than myself and Natasha, we were pretty much it as far as stage managers. And I didn't see anyone who looked like me. I didn't see anyone coming in to intern that looked like me. And I know myself, I'm not an actor. I don't have a desire to be on the stage, but I like to know what is done to make everything happen. What are you doing to make all the pieces come together? And so in choosing to be a part of Break Time, I wanted to be a part of what was making things be put together. What are we doing to fill the gaps? What are we doing to show representation? What are we doing to have people students, professionals that look like us say, you know what, I can do that. I am able to do that. There is somebody when I walk into the theater that I can see myself in. As Stan stated, your imagination. If I can imagine it and I can see it, I can do that. I can do that thing. So I want to be a part of the putting of together and what makes it work. And I want to be able to show people that look like them.
Okay. Playing the antagonist again. But Sharitha, I mean, when we're in theater, we shouldn't see color. I mean, why does that matter? We're all people, and we should, that shouldn't matter when you come into the theater. Theater is a loving community, and so why does that matter?
Theater is a loving community. It has the opportunity to be a loving community, but there is no way that I can show up in a space and you not see my color. Because if I show up in a space and you tell me you don't see color, that means you don't see me.
Okay. Thank you. Y'all don't need. If y'all watching this, y'all don't need to know right now. I just want to but I'm supposed to be conducting this thing, so I can. Okay. All right. So, Mark, I'm gonna save you for last, cause. Lady Tina Morris Anderson. I keep putting that lady in there. She probably doesn't like it, and she doesn't want me to put the rest of the stuff I want to put in there. So I'm just gonna leave it at lady, cause yeah. You are on this group, out of this group. I was going to say on this panel, but this isn't a panel. This is an organization. You have the most seasoned experience in theater. Y'all see I'm tiptoeing right on the eggshells. Okay. I like my life. I want to keep it. So, how, it's a two-parter, and I don't normally like two-parters, so I will, how have you seen a change? Well, no, first of all, what was theater like when you started for Rising Identities? And we're going to get into that as well. I don't really like to say minorities or marginalized because it kind of sounds negative. So we're going to call ourselves Rising Identities. What was it like for Rising Identities in theater when you started?
So first, I don't want to come across as much older as you're probably making me seem. I'm not right up there with like Ossie Davis and BBD and all those kinds of folks. But just starting out, as you all can imagine, it was a case of you were cast in the role that was very specific. Okay. Now, I will say that I was fortunate to have been able to work with directors who thought outside of the box and I've been able to play characters that, I guess if you want to say colorblind casting, but it wasn't limiting, we'll put it that way. And so, but when you look behind the scenes, as Sharitha said, there are very few persons of color who were either directing or on the technical side. And so now over time, there's a greater presence, but there can be more. There's definitely room for more.
Okay, actually, you kind of answered all parts of it in with that answer, so I appreciate that. Thank you. Now, Mark, who has left Josh's tribe and has decided to come on over with me, and Stan. Welcome, Stan and I. Stan, thank you. Stan and I say welcome, Mark. Welcome to the family. If I okay. So welcome to the family. Now, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong. Theater, am I right in saying that you are probably one of the newer members of community theater in this area?
That is correct. Just like my bald head. Yes, I'm new to the.
Okay.
Yes,
And
that
as
would be
y'all can
correct.
see, yes, as y'all can see, who the folk watching this, we laugh, we joke, we have a good time, because that's one of the things, that's our culture. That's what we do,
Yes.
and we do that. And I'm gonna go ahead and give my little testimony. We do that because we've seen enough hard times and enough oppression that we can laugh. We're allowed to. So, Mark, as a newer person into this, what is it that you are seeing as far as community theater and we'll just say in Wake County, and what things would you like to change?
Well, Juan, that's a good question. Because I'm still becoming acclimated with the community theater. So I haven't really immersed myself in it as of yet. I'm getting to that point. So honestly, I can't say any of the changes until I can really see exactly, because you hear a lot of things, but you don't really get the full, I haven't really got the full experience of community theater. Most of my experiences is really on the gospel stage plays. So as far as community theater, one, honestly, I can't technically say until I really can get immersed in it. As far as any changes, to answer, because I don't want to give an answer to a question, and give the wrong answer. But I'm, like I say, I'm still experiencing that community theater feel. So with Rec Time, this is a good opportunity to actually get into seeing exactly how community theater works. And behind the scenes, seeing behind the scenes and the things that go on. Like I say, I'm used to that part of it with the gospel stage plays, but community theater, like I say, I'm still getting the feel of it. So Rec Time is a great opportunity to really hone into that part of the experience when it comes to acting in theater.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, and there are no such thing as wrong answers. It's what you experience, what you
Gotcha.
have experienced so far is if you don't want to elaborate, you don't have to, but there's no such thing as a wrong answer, and I think that is another reason for this organization coming together, because sometimes the answers of people of my hue is different than the answers of people that aren't of my hue, because they see it differently than we see it. So there is no wrong answer. But okay,
But
I'm
so
good.
far, I mean, why? But
Go ahead.
but to answer, I'm sorry to cut you off, but
Mhm.
as you know, as we are, as far as when it comes to Rec Time, what I hear a lot of the community theaters, one thing, the biggest change is, I would say, about getting into community, which does set us apart. You don't see a lot of the community theaters actually getting into community and teaching and giving those instructions and being able to, you know, reach an audience or reach people that look like us as well, as far as when it comes to theater and things like that. So that's the thing that I would see so far when it comes, like, say, to the community theater aspect of it, is really getting in more so in the community, and that's the same thing that I would say would change. But I see that that's the thing that Rec Time is offering, and again, what sets us apart. But I think when it comes to that part, because a lot of times in theater, you hear a lot of that in the high schools, they may have some type of, but to go into, that part of actually, teaching and really getting an understanding of what really goes on behind theater from A to Z, from theory to practice.
Lon, say you're
Muted.
muted.
See, that's a problem, because my mic was muted and I'm just talking and just talking. Y'all. Okay, please don't let that. Okay, show of hands. Um, I heard a lot of talking about crew and Rec Time, reclaiming our time, Rec Time for short, um, wants to change how uh, theater views the crew. show of hands, no, I'm sorry, use your fingers. Tell me how many stage managers of color you know. Use your, hold up fingers. And if it's only one, then please use the index finger. Tina says 4. Stan says 2. Sharitha says 2. Mark, I'm gonna have to 3. Josh is 3. Rochelle is 3. Mark, you do know 2. 2 of them are in this organization. Okay. At least come with me with 2 now.
Sorry,
Tina.
I meant Natasha as a director. So yes,
I
two.
know. You didn't meet her as a stage manager, so I do get it. I get it. Tina, you gave me 4. Can you name them, please?
You want me to
We're
actually
just
name
gonna be
the
honest
people?
about what
Okay,
we do.
fine. So I'm gonna do first names. There's Barbette, there's Lanisha, there's Sharitha, and there's Natasha.
Okay, that's 4. Then actually, I think I know 5 because I don't know if you guys know Yamila. Yamila, I think it's Munge. Yamila is of Spanish and African American descent, and
I
she
think I've
is
met her,
actually
so yes,
employed.
I'll say 5 as well.
So 5.
She filled
Okay.
in for somebody one time, so yep.
She's employed with theater in the park, and I do know that she's trying to help them make some adjustments over there. Okay, so we say 5 stage managers in this area who are people of color. Okay. What's next? How many? Show of hands. Put the fingers up again. How many lighting directors? Yeah. Lighting designers do you know? Please hold up a finger. People of color. Okay. Natasha, who is it that you know? You gotta turn that mic on. Like I got room to say that. Go ahead.
I was thinking of, and now I can't think of his name.
Oh, okay.
Uh, Davion, is that the name?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Darian.
Darion.
Darion. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Well, and since it's kind of getting scary with scarce with names, we're just gonna ask you how many you know without asking names. How many? Well, no, this one I do want names. How many sound designers do you know? Oh, Tasha said she don't know any. Oh, feelings are hurt. So is everybody saying 1? Is everybody in agreement on who that 1 is? Okay, that 1 would be me. That would be me. Wait a minute. Oh, Josh. Okay. Set designers. Oh. I know of 1, and he designed the set for Fences, and he was also bass. He played bass for the Motown Christmas last year. Okay. I did lighting. I did sound. I did set. Costume designers. Okay, we have 2 2s. We'll leave that there. What am I missing? Did stage managers. I did. That's it, right? There's nobody else on the crew.
Props.
Oh, props. Sorry, props. Okay.
Would you
1.
extend that to, well, you didn't get into directors or anything like that, or choreographers, so never mind.
Yeah, I haven't done those yet. 1 for props. I know 1 who fell into it by accident. She was in ASM and then ended up doing props and ASM. Okay. Okay, that's who yours is. Okay. Directors. Okay. Tina got 6. We're gonna leave that there. We won't put any names. Stan got 5. Okay. So now let me ask this, and again, we don't really have to give names. In each of those categories, do you know more people that are not BIPOC people doing those jobs? Oh yeah, I got to get to that. 2 categories I left out: choreography, people of color. Okay, and then music directors. Okay, 4. Tina got 4. Okay. I wish I could see the notes on the side. Rochelle says she can't sing, so she don't know any. Ooh, ooh, Lord. Okay. Oh my Lord. Intimacy coaches. 2. Okay. Okay. Fight choreographers. I was gonna say choreographers. What in the world? Fight choreo. Okay. All right. So for those of you watching, we have work to do because everyone here, everyone's hand should have gone up for everything, and there was some that they only know one of. So we have our work cut out for us. Now I'm gonna go there. Tasha had to kill me later, but I'm going there. It's the antagonist again, and anybody that wants to jump in can jump in. Well, we do a black play every February. Y'all got thoughts? Okay, thank you.
I mean, I think I mentioned that in my introduction, is that we don't only have to showcase Black trauma or showcase Black people in certain parts of the year. We're more than Black History Month. We're more than Kwanzaa. So yeah, thank you for doing that, and we appreciate that. But there's more to us than 28 days, and we got an extra day this year, 29 days, in a 360 plus day year. We're for us, all of us identify as Black. We're Black all year long. So giving us that little segment of time, which originally was a week, and it became a month, and so to just corner us in there, especially with our contributions to this country and to theater, that yeah, you can't put baby in the corner. Come on now.
It's a slap in the face.
Yeah, that's a Dirty Dancing reference for those who are watching.
Okay. So antagonist again. I'm looking at this panel. So are y'all one of them? Are y'all one of them all Black groups that you just don't want white people around? Anybody but Josh? You just don't want white people to be a part of anything? Cause see, Josh, I had to put a leash on Josh every now and then. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. That y'all don't want cause look at this panel. I mean, it's all Black people up here, and what are y'all doing? Y'all don't want white people involved?
So I want to say that we have never stated, it's nowhere on our website or anything like that, that we are an all Black organization, BIPOC. We are an inclusive organization. However, at the same time, we want to elevate and empower those who have not been identified. As someone who is a stage manager, director, etc., especially as a community stage manager, I can't tell you how many times I have been the only one in the room. And in some cases, been the only one in the room for multiple years, but never invited to the table. So I can serve, but I can't sit at the table with you. And so when I feel like if someone feels like they see all of these people, beautiful people of color, and all of a sudden feel like, oh, they can't become a part, maybe that's a personal thing. Maybe that's some other inventory that you might need to go through and figure out what's going on. But I want to be very clear. We have never stated, and it's nowhere stated, that we are only. If anything, we are inclusive. And I might be speaking probably too ahead, but we know we have a show coming up in September that we're partnering with North Raleigh Arts and Creative Theater and EBZB Productions with Native, written by Ian Finley, starring very own J. Madrice Henderson, as well as David Zumbrennan. Josh, were you talking on mute?
I'm thinking out loud. Yeah.
So, for those who are watching who don't know, is Ian Finley a person of color, Natasha?
Not when I met him.
Not the last time I saw him either.
Yeah, right, a couple of weeks ago. Great person, extremely talented, whose work needs to be out there more.
Beautiful script.
Okay.
But it's not a person of color.
Sharitha, I'm gonna be antagonist again. Y'all need to make up y'all mind. Are y'all here for the people of color, or are you here for the white people? Which is it? What are y'all doing? What is going on?
So you have to choose if you're going to be a warden or engineer. You are either tearing people down or building people up. And reclaiming, we are engineers. We are building people up. We are building bridges. We are establishing connections to whatever person comes to the end of that bridge, whether they are pink, purple, white with polka dot stripes. It's probably a little purple in there. It doesn't matter what color they are, the pigment of your skin, or the lack of pigment. We are engineers and not wardens. So we are not limited to a specific gender, race, creed, color, or religion. We are about building and connecting and establishing excellence, because excellence is the expectation, regardless to the pigment of your skin.
Let the church say, come on,
Hey,
here
yeah,
now. Engineer, you better come through with the anecdotes and the metaphors. Praise him.
That's all Josh had. That's all he wanted. He wanted to get that out. Okay, dokie. All righty. Tina Morris Anderson, Lady Tina Morris Anderson. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. Okay. What is a safe place?
Can you repeat the question?
What is a safe place when it comes to theater? What is a safe place?
See. So a safe place is where one feels comfortable, where one does not feel inhibited when it comes to expressing one's opinions, one's thoughts, where one is able to relate to the work that is being done at that time. Yeah, so safety is very much about being able to be one's authentic self.
Okay, thank you. Stan, when you're sitting in a rehearsal, very first rehearsal, and they're reading off, the bylaws and the abbreviated version of the Chicago standards, and they say this is a safe space, and then they move on, and this is your first time in the theater, and you don't want to ask anything because you don't want to seem like you don't know. Do you think that that should be explained a little further?
Personal experience, I've actually never been in a first rehearsal where bylaws were mentioned, or that it was, I don't recall it being explicitly said that the space was a safe space. Um, my personal experience is that a lot of this language of safe and brave spaces has especially come as a result or as a product of the pandemic. I think there's something that's definitely gotten a lot more attention and focus and intentionality around it since the shutdown over the past couple of years. So I've not really heard of that, but I would like to believe, I would like to hear more. If this speech, if this language were used in a first rehearsal, I would like to hear an explanation of it, just to make sure that everybody comes in and has a right understanding. And all our getting, we're supposed to get an understanding. So I want everyone to start the process with that same understanding. So I would love to hear, if that language is used, I'd like to hear it explained. I'd like to hear the elucidation. Yes.
Thank you. Mark, you're new, so I won't ask you this
Again,
one.
that's my experience. I don't know if people have been doing other work and they've been in, rehearsals where they've heard this language, and I don't know whether or not it's been explained. But if you use language like that, I think it is your responsibility to explain what you mean.
Well, I'll say this. Thank you, Stan. But I'll say this. If you say you have been in spaces and you haven't heard it, and it's something that theaters now are saying they're trying to adopt, then it's somebody's falling short somewhere, plain and simple. So I don't really need to ask anyone else the same question because you say you haven't heard it. So, okay.
Well, I haven't been working. I haven't been in as many productions as of late as other people that are on the screen at the moment. And so, since I know that they have been actively involved in other works, they might have heard it.
Okay, well then you know what? Let me ask Rochelle. Same question. Let's do that.
So I would say in the last couple of years, I've started hearing the word safe space used in the early parts of rehearsal. I will say that it's not always defined. That's number one. And number two, saying it doesn't create it. So for me, I think what we need to work more on is brave space, because to create a safe space means that you're taking ownership that everyone in this room is going to create this safe space, that you're trusting it. What I can say is I am a safe space for anyone that I'm on stage with or in production with. But what I am more of is a brave space, because I will speak up for you or for anyone who is in a situation where it's not, they don't feel, whether it's physical, psychological, emotional, or mentally safe. I will be brave enough to speak up and advocate for you in that place and time.
Thank you. Tasha?
So I kind of have to interject on this one because I am behind the liaison role that has been created for a particular theater. And a part of that role is so that actors, production, crew members, everyone has someone to go to when they do not feel comfortable, when there are uncomfortable situations, there are challenges, when they need support, when they need an ear. And so it is probably the only theater that had started it right after everything opened back up. And I do know other theaters have attempted to start that role and understand the importance and need to have a safe space. It is an ever evolving role because, truth be told, people are people, and some people come to theater with their own baggage. And there are times where the liaison role has morphed into something extremely huge that has nothing to do with what's going on in the theater, but because people come in with that, it has to be dealt with. There are mental health issues that have to be addressed. And so what we have been trying to do at this particular organization is try to teach, prepare, arm, provide resources and support to those involved as much as we possibly can. But when you think of community theater, there are limited resources.
Okay. I want to ask, and anybody can chime in on this. Someone mentioned that, right after the pandemic and George Floyd, there started to be a change in this country. There also started to be a change in theater. Torn had something to do with some of that. Are we still on that same trajectory, or do you see things going back to the way they were before the pandemic? I got a nod, but anybody can chime in.
So, sorry, I'm just going to jump in there. So, I think what has happened, which is what has happened with a lot of things, is that after everything started opening back up, you have everyone that was gung ho and we're going to do this, that, and the other, and things just slowly turned back to going the way they used to be. Or you see organizations using the coined phrase DEI or DEIB, and it's usually so that they can check off a box so that they can get a grant or so that they can have PR work so it looks good. But I think there are very few organizations that are actually and genuinely doing the work and having an understanding of what that entails. And sometimes that means sacrifice. That sometimes means losing your money. Because if you start to become too diverse, people that are used to giving money to your organization will no longer give because you're getting too broad, you're opening up too much, and you have organizations that are afraid to do that. And so I think that what we're seeing now, and you can take a look to what's going on in Florida, that the whole DEI thing is starting to become a catchphrase now, as opposed to something that is genuinely being implemented.
And I think a lot of times, especially when we have such a shock to our mental and emotional state, like the pandemic was, just almost reminiscent of 9/11. There's the initial shock, and there's this coming together of people, and I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to hold your hand, and then we look and we're back in that same cycle of racism and hatred, and it's like Natasha said, we check off the boxes, and then those boxes disappear. It's almost like corporate America as well. Everybody was saying you can do your job at home, stay home, stay home. Then they started looking at it like, wait, we're paying electricity for this huge building. Bring yourself back to work. So it's that old status quo where we get back to that cycle because that's what we know works. And if you're not on that cycle, if you're not on that hamster wheel, you're just going to get left.
Okay, thank you. Tina, let me ask you, as a seasoned vet, who I'm sure a lot of times, I was going to ask this to Mark, but Mark, I think pretty much the things I know you have done, you've had people of color around you. Correct. Okay. So yeah, I want to ask Tina. Were there ever times when you felt like you were mistreated because of race? And if that was the case, well, no, let me ask that first. Was there ever a time when you felt like there may have been some mistreatment because of race?
Not that I can recall, or if there was, I'm trying to think how to respond to that. Not that I am aware of, but then I have a tendency when I am working to just be so very focused on what it is that I am doing and making sure that I have that I don't recall there being an instance of not being treated fairly. I'm not going to say that it
Okay.
has not happened. I just was not aware of it because of my focus at the time. You know, and I could have gotten all involved in everybody else's Kool-Aid and done that kind of thing. But and maybe it's just because I've been fortunate to work with people who have been thoughtful in terms of considerate of all of the actors that they had and making sure that all of us had what we needed. So yeah.
Okay. Well, then let me yeah. So that does guide me to the rest of it. So I'm brand new in Wake County Community Theater, or community theater in any county actually. Um, and I see something, and something is being done that I know is really not positive for me. But I don't want to say anything because I don't want to not continue to work in theater. What is your advice to me dealing with that?
So that is the time when you, I guess that's where networking is very important. I would say to find someone who has more experience in theater in the community, and at least share with that individual so that that individual can advise you on who you might speak to within the organization itself. Or if that person is afraid, if you're afraid to be the one to speak up, then it's very possible that that person may know exactly who to make a phone call to and say, you know, this is what it is that's going on. So, because I understand that, you know, folks are starting out and they're just not quite sure who they can trust and who they can't trust. And some people have really long memories. So, that's when it's important. You were talking about a safe space. That's when it's important to have people whom you trust in the work that you do, whether it's we're in the same show with you or not, but to just seek counsel from that person or those persons just to see what you might do. But it's absolutely a case where you should not remain silent in that whatever it is that you see that is wrong, should not just ignore it. Because as we know, by speaking up, you're making it better for the next person. So.
Okay, thank you. We are going to do final words with everyone. So, because our hour is good. I really wanted mainly to come on to introduce this organization because they, Facebook and website and everything is like one day there was no organization, and the next morning at 8 o'clock, pow, it was there. And there were questions from a lot of people, but I also know there were a lot of people afraid to ask some questions, probably because I was in it. But we're gonna leave that there. Um, any final thoughts from anybody? Anyone? Or, yeah, any final thoughts from anyone specific, or does everyone want to give a thought? Tina, go ahead, talk.
So, because I'm the big picture person, and I think I asked this question once when we were all together. Should the question arise where someone says, "Okay, but what about these other organizations that are out there? Does Rectime exist as some type of a statement or some kind of an indictment regarding the groups that already exist that appear to have missions that are similar to that of Rectime?" And I would say the creation of Rectime is not an indictment of what already exists in terms of what is available to technicians and actors of color, by no means. And it does not preclude partnering and collaborating with other groups that already exist. Because we can get involved in turf stuff, and it's unfortunate to think that when we talk about our community and our audiences and our actors, that it's a turf thing, and it shouldn't be, because the rest of the world does not have a turf issue. So, that would be the one statement that I would leave, that Rec Time is not here to replace or to compete with anyone, but to just assist, to join the whole, everybody on the boat rolling in the same direction. So there's my 15 cents.
And I would
Anyone else?
I would just like to reiterate the fact that part of what the beauty of Rec Time is, we recognize a gap. And just because we recognize a gap, it is, as Tina said, it's not an indictment on anyone else. Everyone, the beauty of people of color is that we're not one thing. We're not going to all fit in the same box. We're not going to meet all the same needs. And by shining a light on us does not dim the light of others. You know what I'm saying? Because if we are highlighting what we want to bring to the table, does not diminish what is already being served. Everybody might not want turkey. Somebody might want some lamb chops. You know what I'm saying? So there's a gap. I think we can all acknowledge that there's a gap when it comes to people of color, rising, give it to me, Juan, rising identities, being seen and being heard. And we just want to fill that gap. Point blank, period. In excellence. And I'm going to just say that not everybody is given excellence. And we can acknowledge that. We can acknowledge that. So let's work together so that we all can.
I absolutely agree with that, Rochelle. Thank you. Yes, as Reverend Mother Tina Beloved also mentioned, yes, this is about collaboration. It is not competitive. That is not the spirit of Reclaiming Our Time Productions. That spirit is collaborative, because as Executive Director Natasha mentioned, this is about empowering people. This is about empowering you. It's about leveling up your game. It's about elevating you. This is why we have education, because iron sharpens iron. And so there's a myriad, a width and a depth and a breadth of experience that's just on this screen right now that has helped to sharpen each other and sharpen those that are in the community around us. So clearly, like, we want to express that, and we want to extend that to others who might not be on the screen, to those that have never heard of this, to those who are new to theater, not even community theater, but theater altogether, to those that are in the community. We want to extend the reach, but we want to do it in a way, as Rochelle said, that it serves in excellence, because you're always being seen, you are always being perceived. And so with this work, I appreciate that Reclaiming Our Time wants to move in excellence. That they're not just moving, but they're moving in excellence, that they're empowering in excellence. They want to elevate in excellence. They want to inform and continue to stay informed, in excellence. That's huge. And I appreciate it.
Okay, well, you know what? The very last thing I want to do, because we haven't done that, we're going to go around. Tasha, did you want to say something?
I did want to piggyback really quick
Go ahead.
off what everyone has said, and Stan and I were talking. We talk all the time, but the other week, Stan basically said, and I agree, that Rec Time is an all-inclusive organization that is working to equip, elevate, and empower in excellence, because we are engineers. We got all of those E's in there.
Come on, alliteration. That's alliteration right there.
Look at the word, man. Look at the word, Smith.
I don't want to, take over anybody's spot, but I would love to ask Mark, or get Mark to, because as he said, he's new to community theater. Why this group of people that you feel like this is the right group of people that you want to work with? And sorry, Juan, if I'm taking over. I would love to hear his take.
Yeah, as everyone has spoken earlier, I mean, just in essence of what Reclaiming Our Time represents. We talk about safe space. even prior to Reclaiming Our Time being established, my first experience with community theater was Safe Space. So this is something that, you know what I'm saying, like I say, was new to me, even working in, you know, as an actor, previous projects with, you know, people of our color, but community theater and where we're growing to, you know what I'm saying? And as Rochelle said, you know, we see a need, we feel a need, there's a gap, there's something that we need, you know, it's not about competition, it's not about, but, you know, with this group of people, this organization, I felt that safe space, you know, my first experience with community theater. And that's why I say, you know, as far as being immersed in it, you know, really grasping the understanding of community theater, it really opened up my understanding of exactly, like you say, we about excellence. And to see this part of excellence, us coming together, you know, collaborative effort, you know, it's hard for people of our color, let's just be real, for us to come together and really be able to move and flow the way Rec Time has flown, as I've seen so far with each individual. Like our last production, you know, how we come together, we work together. Hey, this needs to happen. This needs to happen. It happens behind the scenes. People don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but to have a group of people that you say you can work with, you know what I'm saying, and work together, stick together. Hey, we got to make this thing happen. You know what I'm saying? We know what needs to be done. We know. So that was my, you know, as far as, you know, my experience with this team and working with this team, and it's very been instrumental for me. And even the other projects that I've done outside of community theater, it's opened up my eyes to a lot of things, really understanding exactly the flow of things, how to work in excellence in our community, period. Whether it's community theater or whether it's gospel stage play, whatever projects are outside of that, you know, it has really shown how to really work in excellence, because some things we don't know. We just don't know until you really get the understanding and how it's really supposed to be done. And that's what really captured my attention, like say with Rec Time. And like say that safe space, that's something you rarely hear. And you know, you hear it, but when you see it actually in action, it makes a big difference. And I really appreciate the connection and in the journey and us just growing together.
And I
Okay.
would say, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I would say because we all have different experiences in different veins of theater, that what many fingers, one body. We all have different veins and we all have different avenues, and we're bringing them together as a collective. And I think not only are we shopping ourselves as individuals, we're shopping ourselves or showcasing ourselves as a collective. And I know a lot of other companies kind of get together to do a certain thing or certain things, but I think there are so many different avenues that we want to go and explore. And I think that too sets us apart and kind of establishes us as a distinct type of organization.
Okay. I want Tina to go eat Noah's cooking and whatever it is. And she said it's getting cold. So I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna go ahead and have her say hers first. And if she wants to get off as soon as she says hers, that's fine, because we about to get off anyway. I you got to butter your own toast sometimes. So I'll start with Lady T. Tina, what is it that you do in theater?
Let's see. I am an actor and a director. Though my last production, I was also a scene designer and several things. So that's kind of what we do sometimes. Um, and also just a big supporter of the arts. And if I can add just two Rec Times list of things that possibly you just want to just think about. Another need is presence on the boards of arts organizations. There you go, because it's all connected. So I just kind of want to add that to Natasha's list. You know, as far as there's also a need for a presence, because that's where budgets are designed and plays are chosen and all that. So, but back to me, I'm an actress and a director. Yeah, and a vocalist. There you go. Does Does that answer
Okay,
your
actress,
question?
director, and vocalist. Because for some reason, I don't know if your phone is too far from you or what, but some of your words go in and out. So, okay, that's good.
Actress, director, and other duties as assigned.
Please go eat. Please, Lord, go eat. Noah's cooking.
Good night, y'all.
Good night. I'm doing to everybody else, and they can get off after they finish. After I get them, Lord have mercy. Good night. Bye. Rochelle, I don't know why you wrote vocalist in here, because we're not even going there with you. Mark, what is it that you do in theater right now?
So right now in theater, I am an actor and director.
Okay, thank you. And you don't have to go. You can stay on. I just want Tina to get. Tina was hungry. Let's be truthful now. We ain't playing. Ain't nobody
It's
playing
tech
games.
week. It's
She was
tech week.
hungry.
It's tech week.
It's tech week for her and Rochelle. So yeah, she was hungry. Stan, what is it that you do in theater, sir?
Right now, I am serving as a patron of the arts. But in the past, I have been an actor. Yeah. And other duties
And
as
a,
assigned.
and a vocalist. Thank
And a
you.
vocalist, yes, sir. Thank you.
Sharitha, what is it you do in theater?
Well, the blanket answer is I do whatever Natasha tells me to do. But specifically, it would be I am a stage manager. I will run one sound. I will flip some lights. I'm a dress mark. I'm gonna make sure Stan has water and the ushers got tissue. We gotta get hugs to my empath up there. So yeah, no, I am stage managing, creating a true safe space and mental health support. That is what we do. And to add to Mark's list, he's an amazing ASM. He really is.
Thank you for adding that to his list. Yes, 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 yes. Uh, Lord. Rochelle, what do you do? Lord Jesus.
I am an actor. I am a dancer. I'm a dramaturge. I am an intimacy coordinator. I am definitely, I will promote the hell out of a show. So I'm definitely a marketing director. And most importantly, I'm an empath. So I'm gonna definitely bring that to every performance, every meeting, everything. So that is important because we need to care. We need to care more about people and about each other. That's my superpower.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Josh. Oh Lord, we'll be here. What time?
I am J. Marjories Henderson, and I
It's
am
9:24 now. We'll be here at 9:30. Go ahead, Josh.
no, I'm an actor. I'm a playwright. I'm an assistant director. I dabbled in stage management for like one show. We'll never do that again because y'all can have that. Um, but yeah, I do what I'm told pretty much most times. But yeah, those are the main pockets I kind of hit.
You can say
Okay.
vocalist. It's not gonna hurt my feelings.
No. See, I'm BGV. That means I stay in the back and I sway and I sing the note you say. Right. I ain't out front. Right. Praise the Lord.
Natasha.
Then I can add that as well. Watermelon. Thank you. Watermelon. Thank you.
See what happens when you get us together. I am I'm an equity stage manager. I am a director. I am a intimacy director. I also the creator behind the liaison role here in the community, the Raleigh area community theater, and I also provide mental health support. And then anything else that needs to be done, which I need to work on saying no for that part.
Yeah. Josh, you're an equity actor, aren't you?
I wasn't gonna say nothing, but I mean, yeah, they just sent me my card for the next few months. So yeah, I paid my dues.
Yes, you did, and
Paid
you
my dues.
get your
Lord have
flower.
mercy. That was a nice price tag. Praise the Lord.
And get your flower.
Hey, what? So Juan,
Okay.
what do you do in theater, sir?
Oh yeah, me. I am an actor. As Rochelle said, I don't know why tour, but actor. Sound designer. Okay. What else?
Little vocals in there.
Oh, vocalist. Yeah, I do vocals. And I am a member of the Raleigh Arts Commission. I am a Medal of Art recipient, which is one of the highest awards you can get for the arts in Wake County. Um, I serve on the board for Beltline to Broadway. I think that's all I can think of. Who up here is on a board? Natasha. What board?
North Raleigh Arts and Creative Theater.
Sharitha, what board? Oh, the same one.
I'm
Okay.
on a board somewhere, but don't call that number because it's no longer in service.
I'm not even going to begin to understand. Please tell me what. You know what? No, you're not going to do that. Not this time. What board? And why the number don't work?
It's a high level answer, sir. You know, you walk by the board, you see a certain number, call this person for it. You know, that number don't work no more.
Juan, I think it's time to wrap this one up because I don't know where this is going.
I don't either. I'm gonna leave that alone. Y'all know I want to get it, but then I don't want to get into it because I'm actually a little scared. Yeah, we are punchy, Lauren. It's time. It's time to go. Hour and 12. We good. What in the world? Anyway, I want to thank you guys for getting on. And I know y'all were probably a little nervous. Everybody that's ever done a torn episode always wonders what I'm gonna ask and am I gonna go too far? And Natasha was there to reel me back in if needed to be. But I think I did okay. So I just wanted to introduce this organization and get some of the questions that some of you probably were afraid to ask us. I'm gonna go ahead and ask. So you will be seeing a lot from this organization. I know this organization came out and they didn't have a play on the day that they came out. As you have heard, this organization does other things besides just doing theater and doing plays. As you've heard them say, there are a community organization that is doing outreach. They want to reach people where the people are, and they want to do it with excellence. Yes, we do, Josh. Speak on it.
Well, we also have an upcoming podcast as well that we're looking to venture into that because again, all of us have experiences in the theater and we bring a lot to the table. And there's a lot of conversations to be had that people are having, but it's not publicized. But I think we have a voice that needs to be heard in that forum of a podcast. So look for that as well.
Okay, thank you. We definitely going to give you information on that. And then Natasha, will you give us the dates for Native?
Yes, we will be doing Native September 13th through the 22nd at North Raleigh Arts and Creative Theater. And again, that is a partnership with Interact. And we are partnering with EBZB Production for Native, written by Ian Finley. And it is starring our very own J. Madrice Henderson and David Zumbrenning. And also know that this play has been adapted for a film that is currently in the film festival circuit called is it The Promise?
The Problem of the Hero.
Problem. I get that mixed up with another show, The Problem of a Hero. And Jay Madrice plays Richard Wright, by the way.
And this play will be at Interact, as she said. It is 7713, number 51, Lead Mine Road, Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yes.
27615. If you got to put all that in your GPS to find out where it is, that
Yes.
is where you go to find that out. I want to thank you guys so much for doing this. Hopefully this answers some questions. If some come up, we can always do it again. And this will live. Go ahead, Josh.
I want to say thank you to Juan. This is your first show back, so we're honored to be your first show.
Yes,
Thank
thank you for
you.
having me.
Thank you.
Welcome back, brother. We missed you. We missed you.
My first invitation. Thank you.
Jeez. Oh, see that y'all just saw the real folk up here, because like 5 of them were talking at one time. See, this last hour they been all nice and sweet, and no, that's the real ones. And so for those of you who want to know the real ones, you just saw them, and let me let you know about the real ones. We represent, and we represent well, and we understand and we know when something just isn't the way it's supposed to be, and we are dignified about it, but we will stand up. Okay, we don't just take it lying down and move on. We stand up. We rise up. Rising identities. I will leave y'all with this one thought. When something is happening and it's not to your favor, and you think it's because of your race, don't call it microaggression. Because by using the word micro, you are diminishing what is happening to you. It is called identity-related aggression because it deals with your identity. There's no micro, macro. It's all because what someone else deems as a microaggression may affect you very, very much. And it's not up to them to describe what's happening as a micro or macro to you. It's up to you because it's happening to you. So let's change that from the micro or macro aggressions. Let's change it to identity-related aggressions. Okay? And as I said, we are not marginalized. We are not minorities. We are rising identities. Okay? So that's all I got. Thank you guys so much for doing this. Thank you guys, whoever has watched and has watched the whole time. That's why it's recorded, so that you can just stop it and come back to it. I will see you guys at the theater. Lauren, we out. Go ahead and play the outro. Y'all stay on.